Ambassador He stood tall as he walked into the great chamber of the Galactic Council. The room was huge, with seats for 1,000 different alien species. The ceiling looked like it touched the stars themselves. He tried not to show his amazement, but his eyes kept moving from one strange alien to another. He was the first human to ever stand in this room. Today, Earth would join the Galactic Alliance, or at least, that was the plan. Species 4578, humans of Earth, announced a floating orb in the center of the room. Its voice echoed off the crystal walls. Your request to join the Alliance will now be heard. He stepped forward. He could feel thousands of eyes watching him. Some aliens had more than 2 eyes, and some didn't have eyes at all. Instead, they had other ways to see. The chamber was completely silent. Council member Do Young, who looked almost like a tall blue tree with silver leaves, spoke first. We have studied your species for the past 50 years, he said. His voice was calm but worried. Your development has been unusual. He nodded politely. We are a young species, but we learn quickly. Too quickly, said another council member. This one looked like a cloud of purple gas. Your people went from horse-drawn carriages to space travel in less than 200 years. This is not normal. He was about to answer when something unexpected happened. The air system in the chamber made a loud noise and started blowing cold air. It wasn't a big problem for He. It was just a bit chilly. But the reaction from the aliens was shocking. Half the council members started screaming. Some tried to run away. Others curled up in their seats. The cloud-like alien turned a pale white color. What's wrong? He asked, confused. Is there danger? Do Young's silver leaves were shaking. The temperature dropped 10 degrees. How are you still standing? He blinked. This is nothing. On Earth, we have places where the temperature can change by 40 degrees in a single day. People still go to work and school like normal. The silence that followed was different from before. Now it wasn't just quiet. It was the kind of quiet that comes after someone says something frightening. You survive such changes? Do Young asked slowly, without any protection. Of course, He said. We also live in places with much hotter and colder temperatures. Some humans live where it's below freezing most of the year. Others live in deserts where it's very hot. More silence. More staring. A small alien with golden scales finally spoke up. And your bodies, they just adapt to this. Yes, He said. We can also eat many different kinds of food, heal from injuries, and enough. Do Young's voice shook. We must discuss this privately. The council members started whispering to each other. He could see fear in their movements and hear it in their voices. He didn't understand why. To him, everything he said was normal. After what felt like hours, Do Young spoke again. Ambassador He, we have reached a decision. Earth will be allowed to join the Alliance, but... He paused, his leaves trembling slightly. We have some special conditions to discuss. He smiled, not knowing that this was just the beginning. He didn't realize that his simple answers had just changed how the entire galaxy would see humans forever. To him, it was just another diplomatic meeting. To the aliens, it was the day they discovered that humans were accidentally the most terrifying species in the known universe. The meeting continued, but now every alien in the room watched He every move with a mixture of fear and amazement. When he took a sip of water, they flinched. When he scratched his arm, they gasped. Everything humans thought was normal was shocking to them. And this was only the beginning of their discovery about how different and frightening humans really were. Scientists Jai-Ho and Sunmai sat in their laboratory at the Galactic Research Center, staring at their computer screens. They had been studying data about different alien species for 6 months now, and what they found was surprising. Look at this again, Jai-Ho said, pointing to a chart. Every alien species in the database evolved on planets with perfect conditions. No big temperature changes, no dangerous weather, no natural disasters. Sun Mi nodded, pushing her glasses up. And Earth? Earth is different, Jai-Ho said. Our planet has everything. Earthquakes, storms, floods, extreme heat, extreme cold. And that's just the weather. Sun Mi typed something into her computer. More images appeared on the big screen in front of them. It's not just the weather. Look at the gravity data. The screen showed numbers from different planets. Most alien worlds had gravity similar to Earth or less, but humans could still walk and work normally in places with higher gravity. To other species, this was impossible. We should test this, Sun Mi said. She picked up a small weight from her desk, about 2 kilograms. Let's ask someone. They walked to the break room where several alien scientists were eating lunch. A researcher named Du Young was there, his blue tree-like body swaying gently. Du Young, Sun Mi called out. Could you help us with a quick test? Of course, he said, moving closer. Sun Mi held out the weight. Could you lift this? Du Young reached out with one of his branch-like arms. As soon as Sun Mi let go, he fell forward, his arm bending under the weight. Too heavy, he gasped. How can you hold it so easily? Jai-Ho and Sun Mi looked at each other. Sun Mi was holding the weight with one hand while typing on her tablet with the other. To her, it felt like nothing. They went back to their lab and started writing their report. The truth was becoming clear. Humans were accidentally superpowered compared to other species. Everything about Earth had made humans stronger, faster, and more resistant to harm. Look at the bone density comparisons, Jai-Ho said, bringing up more data. Our bones are like steel compared to theirs. Even our weakest humans are incredibly strong by their standards. Sun Mi was reading medical reports. Jai-Ho, it's not just our strength. When we get hurt, we heal. When we break a bone, it grows back stronger. Most species never fully recover from serious injuries. As they worked, a small accident proved their point. Jai-Ho knocked over his hot coffee, and some splashed on his hand. He just wiped it off and kept working. But when a drop hit Du Young, who had come to check on their research, he screamed in pain and had to go to the medical bay. I don't understand, Du Young said when he returned, his burned branch wrapped in special healing gel. How can you touch hot liquid and feel no pain? We feel it, Jai-Ho explained. But our bodies can handle it. We evolved to survive much worse things. Sun Mi finished their report late that night. The title was simple: Human Biological Advantages, an unintended result of harsh evolution. But the contents of the report would change everything. The next morning, their report spread through the Galactic Research Center. Alien scientists read it with growing fear and amazement. Humans weren't just different. They were like living tanks, built by Earth's harsh conditions over millions of years. In the cafeteria, Jai-Ho watched as alien scientists moved away from humans who were eating lunch. Maybe we should have kept this quiet, he said to Sun Mi. Sun Mi shook her head. They need to know the truth. Besides, this is just the beginning. Wait until they learn about our immune systems. Jai-Ho looked worried. What do you mean? I just started studying how we fight off diseases, Sun Mi said. Compared to other species, our immune system is like an army with nuclear weapons. They're not going to like that part at all. The emergency alarm echoed through the halls of the Galactic Council headquarters. Red lights flashed everywhere as council members rushed to the Great Chamber. Ambassador He-Jin watched as the normally calm aliens moved in panic. In the chamber, a large screen showed several planets under attack. The Void Collective, a group of hostile aliens who lived in the dark space between galaxies, had launched a massive attack on Alliance worlds. 3 mining colonies are lost, announced Du Young, his blue branches shaking. The collective is using radiation weapons. No one can survive in those conditions. He-Jin stood up. What about the defense forces? A small golden-scaled alien named Rai Su answered. Our ships can fight from a distance, but we cannot send ground forces. The radiation levels are too high. Anyone we send would die in minutes. Hejin looked at the screen, then at Commander Ta-1, who had come with him to the meeting. They shared a knowing look. "We can help," Hejin said. "Humans can survive radiation much better than most species. We also have experience fighting in harsh conditions." The chamber went silent. Du Young's leaves turned a pale blue color. "You mean, send human soldiers into that radiation?" "Yes," Commander Ta-1 spoke for the first time. His voice was steady and calm. "Our soldiers train for situations like this. We have protective suits that can help them last even longer in radiation zones. But the temperature in those colonies is below freezing," another council member said. "And the gravity is much stronger than Earth's." Ta-1 smiled slightly. "Cold and high gravity. That's nothing special to us. Many of our soldiers train in worse conditions." The aliens started whispering among themselves. They had read the report about human capabilities, but this was different. This was asking humans to do something they considered impossible. "How many soldiers can you send?" Du Young asked finally. "We have 3,000 troops ready to deploy," Ta-1 answered. "They can begin operations within 24 hours. More whispers filled the room. 3,000 humans willing to go into what the aliens considered certain death. It was unthinkable. Hejin watched the council members carefully. He could see their fear mixing with hope. They needed help, but the idea of humans being able to survive conditions that would kill their own people terrified them. "There are civilians trapped in those colonies," Raisu said quietly. "Our people. They will die without help." Do Young raised his branches, calling for silence. "We will vote on accepting human assistance." The vote was quick. Fear of the Void Collective was stronger than fear of humans. Within an hour, Commander Ta-1 was speaking with his troops through a communication screen. "Remember," he told them, "what seems normal to us will shock them. Try not to frighten our allies more than necessary." As the human forces prepared for deployment, Hejin overheard two council members talking. "Did you see how calm they were?" one whispered, "talking about sending their people into radiation zones like it was nothing." "I heard they have a training facility on Earth inside an active volcano," the other replied. "These humans, they're not just strong, they're impossible." Hejin wanted to tell them that the volcano training facility was just a rumor, but he stayed quiet. Sometimes, he thought, it was better to let the aliens believe what they wanted. The truth about human capabilities was frightening enough without adding myths. The real test would begin soon, and then the galaxy would learn exactly what humans could do. Hejin wondered if they were ready for that knowledge. Tactical expert Yuna checked her equipment one last time as the transport ship entered the atmosphere of the mining colony. Next to her, combat specialist Min Seok was helping other soldiers adjust their radiation suits. "Remember," Yuna said to her team, "the aliens think this mission is impossible. Let's show them what humans can do." The ship's computer announced their arrival. "Warning. External temperature -40 degrees. Radiation levels critical. Gravity at 2.5 Earth standard." Min Seok stood up and stretched. "Feels like winter training in the mountains," he said. Several soldiers laughed. To them, these conditions were challenging but not impossible. The ship landed, and the rear door opened. Cold air rushed in. Through their helmet visors, the human soldiers could see the colony's main building. The Void Collective's ships had damaged most of the outer structures. "Move out," Yuna ordered. Her team started walking toward the building. The high gravity made each step harder, but years of training had prepared them for this. In orbit above the planet, alien observers watched through camera feeds. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. "How are they moving so easily?" Du Young asked, his branches trembling. "The gravity should be crushing them." Ambassador Hejin, watching from the command center, explained, "Many of our soldiers train with weights that make gravity feel even stronger than this. It makes them stronger." On the surface, Min Seok's team found the first group of survivors. The aliens were huddled in a sealed room, scared and cold. When the human soldiers broke through the door, the aliens backed away in fear. "We're here to help," Min Seok said through his suit's translator. "The Alliance sent us." One of the survivors, a young alien with crystal-like skin, spoke up. "But the radiation, you'll die." Min Seok shook his head. "We can handle it. Our suits give us extra protection, and our bodies can resist radiation better than most species. Now let's get you to safety." As they led the survivors out, something unexpected happened. Part of the ceiling collapsed. Without thinking, Yuna caught a falling metal beam that would have crushed several aliens. The beam was heavy, especially in the high gravity, but she held it long enough for everyone to move. The aliens stared at her in shock. Their cameras recorded everything. "Did you see that?" One alien scientist watching the feed exclaimed. "She caught it with 2 hands. In this gravity, that's impossible." Back on the surface, the rescue continued. The human soldiers worked for hours, going deeper into the damaged colony. They found more survivors. Some soldiers even took off their outer gloves to help trapped aliens, touching metal so cold it would freeze most species. "Captain," one soldier called to Yuna, "we found their medical bay. There are injured aliens who can't walk." "Carry them," she ordered. "Carefully. Remember, they're more fragile than us." The soldiers gently picked up injured aliens, carrying them through corridors filled with radiation and cold. To the aliens watching, it looked like a miracle. To the humans, it was just another rescue mission. By the end of the day, the human teams had saved over 400 aliens. As they returned to their ships, Min Seok noticed something interesting. The aliens they had rescued were looking at them differently now. Not with fear, but with something else. Something like awe. In the command center, Du Yum turned to Hu Jin. "Your people did the impossible today," he said quietly. "But I must ask, is this normal for humans?" Hu Jin smiled slightly. This was just the first day. Medical Officer Jinwoo was working in the emergency treatment center when they brought in the injured soldiers from the second rescue mission. 3 humans had been hurt while saving more survivors from the mining colony. To Jinwoo, their injuries seemed minor. He was about to say this when he noticed the alien medical staff backing away in horror. "Is something wrong?" Jinwoo asked, looking at his alien colleague, a doctor named Raisu. "Wrong. They should be dead." Raisu's crystal-like body was shaking. "One has broken bones. Another has severe burns. The third has lost blood. How are they still conscious?" Jinwoo looked at his patients again. Private Kim had 2 broken fingers and a cracked rib. Sergeant Lee had burns on her arm from hot metal. Corporal Park had a deep cut on his leg. They were all sitting up, talking, and even laughing a little. "These are not serious injuries," Jinwoo explained. "They will heal in a few weeks." The alien medical staff stared at him. One of them fainted. "Heal," Raisu whispered. "Broken bones do not heal. Burns do not heal. When our people are damaged this badly, they either die or need artificial replacements." Jinwoo realized he needed to explain human medicine to his alien colleagues. He pulled up some medical files on his computer and started showing them human X-rays. The images showed bones before and after healing. "See, when our bones break, they grow back stronger," he said. "Burns heal and form new skin. Cuts close up and repair themselves. Our bodies are always fixing damage." An alien nurse touched Private Kim's medical chart with a trembling hand. "It says here she had a broken leg 2 years ago, but she is walking normally." "Yes," Jinwoo said. "That's normal for us. We can recover from most injuries if they're treated properly." The news spread quickly through the medical center. Alien doctors and scientists came to watch the humans heal. They were amazed by everything: how fast humans recovered, how well they handled pain, how their bodies fought infections. Later that day, Jinwoo had to treat an alien worker who had been exposed to radiation. While preparing the treatment, he accidentally pricked his finger with a needle. A drop of blood appeared. The alien staff panicked again. "You are injured," Rai-Su cried out. "You need treatment." Jinwoo wiped the blood away with a tissue. "It's just a small cut. It will heal in an hour or so." An hour? Rai-Su's crystalline body flickered with shock. Such rapid regeneration. It's not possible. That evening, Jinwoo wrote a report about human healing abilities. He included basic information about how humans recover from injuries, fight diseases, and adapt to damage. He thought it would help the aliens understand human medicine better. He was wrong. The report caused even more fear. The alien medical staff now looked at humans like they were invincible. When Jinwoo tried to explain that humans could still die from serious injuries, they didn't seem to believe him. "I don't understand," Jinwoo said to Ambassador He-jin, who had come to check on the situation. "Why are they so afraid? We're trying to help them." He-jin smiled sadly. "Think about it from their view. We can survive things that would kill them instantly. We heal from injuries they consider fatal. And now they're learning that even our little children can recover from broken bones. To them, we might as well be immortal." Jinwoo looked at his hands, thinking about how something as simple as healing from a small cut could terrify an entire medical staff. "Should we stop sharing medical information?" "No," He-jin said firmly. "They need to understand us if we're going to work together. They're afraid now, but they'll learn. Besides, wait until they find out about our immune systems." Jinwoo winced. Maybe we should wait a while before telling them about that. Intelligence Officer Hai-jin sat at her desk in the Galactic Alliance headquarters, reviewing the final draft of her report. For 3 months, she had been collecting data about human capabilities. Now she had to share this information with the entire Alliance. The screen in front of her showed page after page of human achievements during the rescue missions. She read through them one more time, trying to see them through alien eyes. "Humans can continue fighting with broken bones," she read aloud. "They can survive extreme temperature changes. They can heal from most injuries. They can eat foods that would poison other species." A soft chime announced a visitor. Do-young entered her office, his blue branches swaying gently. "Is the report ready?" he asked. "Yes," Hai-jin said, "but I'm worried about how others will react to it." Do-young moved closer to read the screen. His leaves trembled as he saw the list of human abilities. This cannot be correct," he said. "Your people did all these things." Hai-jin nodded and showed him the video evidence. The recording showed humans working in radiation zones, carrying heavy loads in high gravity, and surviving conditions that would kill most species instantly. "Here," she said, playing one video. "This shows a human soldier running with a broken arm to save an alien child." Do-young's leaves turned pale. "Running with broken bones. How is this possible?" "Our bodies are built to keep working even when damaged," Hai-jin explained. "It helps us survive dangerous situations." She continued showing him more evidence. There were records of humans eating spicy foods that would burn most alien mouths. Videos of humans working in temperatures that would freeze or cook other species. Documents about how humans could rebuild broken bones stronger than before. "And this is normal for your people?" Do-young asked. "Most of it," Hai-jin said. "Some humans are stronger or weaker than others, but we can all do these things to some degree." The report began spreading through the Alliance that afternoon. The reaction was immediate. Some alien species requested to leave Alliance meetings where humans were present. Others wanted to know if humans could be used as guards or protectors. Hai-jin watched as her report caused panic in some places and excitement in others. In the cafeteria, she saw alien workers move away when humans sat down to eat. They stared in horror as humans bit into hot food, drank cold drinks, and showed no signs of pain from either. Later that day, Ambassador He-jin called her to his office. "Your report is causing quite a stir," he said. I only wrote the truth, Haijin replied. Should I have left some things out? Haijin shook his head. No. They need to know what we can do. But perhaps we should show them what we want to do as well. Haijin understood. Her next report would focus on human kindness, not just human strength. She would document how humans use their abilities to help others, to protect the weak, to save lives. But even as she began working on this new report, more stories of human abilities kept coming in. A construction worker lifted a fallen beam that 3 aliens couldn't move. A human child recovered from an illness that would have killed an adult alien. A human cook handled pans so hot they melted alien cooking tools. Maybe we should wait before sharing these new stories, Haijin said to herself, watching another group of aliens hurry away from a human drinking hot coffee. They seemed scared enough already. Diplomatic advisor Sung-ho walked through the halls of the Galactic Alliance building, noticing how the alien staff moved away as he passed. After 6 months of working with humans, they were still nervous. Today, he hoped to change that. He entered the main conference room, where representatives from 20 alien species waited. They sat far from the human side of the room. Sung-ho understood their fear, but he knew they needed to move past it. We are here to discuss cooperation between humans and other Alliance species, Sung-ho began. We know our abilities frighten you. We want to explain why you shouldn't be afraid. A crystal-bodied alien named Raisu spoke up. Yesterday, I saw a human drink something so hot it melted our measuring tools. How can we not be frightened? Sung-ho nodded. Let me tell you about Earth. On our world, hot drinks are normal. We enjoy them. We use them to welcome friends and comfort those who are sad. Our strength isn't meant to frighten. It's meant to help. As he spoke, an emergency alarm started ringing. The alien representatives jumped in surprise. Sung-ho's communication device lit up with an urgent message. There's been an accident in the lower levels, he announced. A cooling system has failed. The temperature is dropping rapidly. The aliens started to panic. For them, the falling temperature was deadly. But before anyone could leave, the door froze shut. Sung-ho acted quickly. He walked to the door and pulled it open, breaking the ice. The metal was so cold it would have frozen most alien hands solid. To him, it was just uncomfortably cold. Follow me, he said calmly. We'll get you to safety. The aliens watched in amazement as Sung-ho and other humans helped them through the cold corridors. The humans removed their own warm jackets to wrap around the shivering aliens. They carried those who were too cold to walk. In the safety of the emergency shelter, Raisu approached Sung-ho. You could have left us, she said. You didn't need our help to survive the cold. That's not what humans do, Sung-ho replied. Our strength exists to protect others, not to harm them. Over the next few weeks, Sung-ho organized more meetings. He showed videos of humans using their abilities to help others on Earth. Children helping elderly people carry heavy bags. Doctors working long hours to save lives. Rescue workers running into burning buildings to save strangers. You see our strength and think of danger, he told the aliens. We think of responsibility. Every human child learns that being stronger means you must be kinder. Being tougher means you must be gentler. Slowly, things began to change. Some aliens started sitting closer to humans in meetings. Others asked questions about Earth's culture instead of just its dangers. A few even requested human guards for their important buildings. But then something happened that no one expected. During a normal day at the Alliance headquarters, a human child visiting her mother at work sneezed. The sound echoed through the hall, making every alien within hearing distance dive for cover. Sung-ho, watching this, realized they still had a long way to go. At least they're not running away anymore, he said to Ambassador Haijin. Now they just hide. Haijin smiled. Progress is progress, even if it comes with a few panic attacks along the way. 1 year after humans joined the Galactic Alliance, Ambassador Haijin stood before the council again. The chamber looked different now. Human guards stood at the doors, their presence both reassuring and frightening to the alien representatives. The changes went far beyond just security. The first year of human integration has been successful, Hejin announced. Our peacekeeping forces have stopped 12 major conflicts. Our rescue teams have saved thousands of lives. Our medical knowledge has helped develop new treatments for many species. Do Young, who had once feared humans, now sat closer to the human section. We cannot deny the benefits, he said, though many of us are still adjusting to human capabilities. As if to prove his point, a human guard sneezed. Several alien representatives ducked under their desks. Hejin pretended not to notice. We have prepared new guidelines for human-alien interaction, Hejin continued. Simple rules to help everyone feel more comfortable. For example, humans will warn others before lifting heavy objects. We will avoid eating or drinking extremely hot things in public, and we will try not to sneeze loudly. The council members relaxed slightly. These small changes had made a big difference over the past year. Aliens no longer ran away when they saw humans in the hallways. Some even worked directly with humans now. Commander Tadwan stepped forward to give his report. Human peacekeepers now protect 20 major Alliance worlds, he said. The Void Collective has retreated from Alliance space. They know they cannot match our troops in combat. A small alien with golden scales raised her hand. But what if humans decide to use their strength against us? Hejin smiled gently. Let me tell you about Earth's history. We learned long ago that being strong means nothing if you don't use that strength to help others. Every human child learns this lesson. It's part of who we are. Intelligence Officer Hejin presented the next report. Her documents showed how humans had changed the Alliance. Crime rates had dropped on worlds with human peacekeepers. Trade routes were safer. Even the number of natural disasters causing deaths had decreased because humans could work in conditions that would kill other species. We know we seem scary, Hejin said, but think of us as guardians, not monsters. We may be able to survive things that would kill most species, but we choose to use these abilities to protect. The council meeting ended with a historic decision. The Alliance officially named humans as their primary peacekeeping force. Many worlds requested human protection. Some alien species even started programs to help them better understand their human allies. Later that day, Hejin watched from his office window as a group of alien children played in the building's garden. A human child joined them, being careful not to play too roughly. The alien children were nervous at first, but soon they were all playing together. That's our real victory, Hejin said to Du Young, who had come to discuss the new guidelines. Not that they accept our strength, but that they trust our hearts. Du Young's leaves rustled in agreement. We still find you terrifying, he admitted. But now we understand that's not a bad thing. You're terrifying to those who would harm us, but protecting to those who need help. That's all we ever wanted to be, Hejin replied. Though we should probably work on the sneezing thing. As if on cue, someone sneezed in the hallway. Several aliens jumped, but this time they laughed afterward. They were learning that some terrifying things could also be wonderful. Humans might be the scariest species in the galaxy, but they were also turning out to be the best friends anyone could have.